length of ride and things like that. But for the division that I'm in, it's called prone assist.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to have someone push me into a wave, who was Cliff.
Yeah.
Then Michael O'Connor, who I'm sure you know, OC, who's another salt of the earth human being that's been around since the beginning with me. So you're able to have someone on the inside catch you coming in and help you get back out, because there's still the time limit and things like that, and you have to do it in the allotted time of the heat.
God, so your team, it's like a team, it's a bit of a team event too in some ways, you know? How about priority? How does that work?
Same as it would in a regular contest.
So just like sort of like a WSL or something where there's someone who will have priority in the heat and they can get the wave, and then you're the next one down, basically.
Yeah,
cool.
You can't just sneak waves from people as much as
you
I
want
would
to.
like to do that, and I'm sure my team would have liked to do that. That wasn't in the cards.
And what's like the vibe like at the contest? Is it like celebratory or more cutthroat in some ways?
It's pretty intense, which I appreciate.
Nice.
Because a lot of adaptive situations are like feel-good scenarios, which is wonderful. But for somebody that grew up with the mentality that I have, that competitive feel, although it may be a little uncomfortable at times, it's unusual for that to be the feel. So it made me feel good. Like, all right, this is same deal as when Willie goes out at Nazare and he's got Billy Kemper on his heels. Like, that's awesome. It was cool to feel the exact same way as my friends that are a part of the surf contests in the industry that people are aware of, and have that same feeling of putting a jersey on. All right, we got to go win. This isn't everybody go home with a medal and we're going to feel good about it. We came here to win.
I fucking love that. That's awesome. That's so cool. Cause like, I now want to see like what the rivalry is like and kind of the tension in there. There's, it's like, I forgive me, but like, and forgive my ignorance of it in some ways, because the media, the way it's written about, it always has this feel-good slant to it.
Which, if you know me, and even the pieces that have been done on me, it's like, all right, this guy has CP, he surfs, like, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Which is great, but to me, the important part of the story isn't let's all feel rosy about this. It's motivation for other people to go out and do this, not just give me my flowers and tell me everything's wonderful and I'm a hero, I'm this, I'm that. I'm not a hero because I'm just going out doing something that I love to do, regardless of what your preconceived notions of me may be.
I appreciate that, and I think a lot of people do, because it's just like, you're no different than anyone else, and the competition shouldn't be any different than anything else, and it should be intense, and you and everyone else should have the same satisfaction of like seeing your competitor crumble before you. Like
because like there were certain points where we were out in the water and we were paddling back out to get the waves. So
Cliff's battle.
Able to help me. Yeah, so Cliff's able to help me paddle, and he's looking at the other guys in the water square in the face and being like, all right, you can definitely beat him, and him, and let's go do it.
Yes.
So that kind of put me at ease too.
Yeah.
It's the same mentality as when I go out for a surf with these guys, and we're going to have fun and we're going to laugh. Like, if you see me in the water, I'm laughing the whole time because somebody's always saying something crazy, and it's what makes these experiences and these sessions so special.
Nice. Now I want to ask, like, who shapes your boards, and what sort of special modifications need to be made to not just your boards but your equipment?
So we had been using the WaveJet system,
Yeah.
which is almost like a jet ski engine, and you wear a Bluetooth bracelet that links with the engine that would go in the bottom of the board. There's a cutout in the boards where the pod, it's called, fits in, and that's to lessen the need for paddling and makes it easier for me to get out on the bigger days and all that stuff. So, but the company went out of business. So we've been doing the old school. Cliffy just wears fins, and who's ever out in the water with me is wearing fins, which is a lot more taxing on their body. So I'm hoping that there's some technology that comes along to be more assistive, because the problem with WaveJet, which at that point, like the custom board that I had was shaped by Walden.
Oh, good shaper. I love his boards.
So, and it was specific to what I needed and things like that. And I have handles on the rails so I can maneuver as you would with your feet to bottom turn and cut back and things like that.
Is there any special bottom configurations, concave V's, like anything like that, or rails that kind of make it a little bit more kind of easier to kind of turn?
It was all based on your discretion. So like the rocker that I had was pretty good for late drops and all that stuff. So that's kind of how I knew I could make those closeouts that we like to have me pull into and things like that.
90s style glass slipper style rocker we're talking here.
Yeah. And I've learned from seeing other people in the water that not everybody has that mentality of we're just going to go. I didn't realize that wasn't like widely the way that people attack this.
Interesting.
Because I guess of my supporting cast and just the mentality that I have myself. But like, especially I saw during the contest, there would be a little hesitation from the people that were helping their participant out in the water, whereas I've never felt any sort of hesitation from the Scootins or anybody else helping me in the water. It's just like, all right.
Now, so what else? Tri-fin, you going thruster, quad, single? Like, what's your fin setup on those?
I had a quad fin.
I like quads myself.
And the board that I'm using right now, mostly that we saw in the most recent the We the 15 video that everybody should go check out. So that board, I like to call it a Cadillac because you pretty much can make anything.
Yeah.
But it's not as performance as my previous board was, so it's a little dicey in heavier conditions. But the cool thing about my wetsuits also is, luckily, my mom is very crafty.
Nice.
With sewing machines and things like that. So she was looking up different stuff, and we had found this seamstress based in Florida that alters wetsuits.
Oh, wow.
So she was able to put zippers on the arms and legs, so I can almost get in and out of my wetsuit like a race car driver.
Oh, it's so
to make it easier for myself to get in and out for who's ever helping me get ready or get out, and
it's
just make it not a half-hour process of tugging and saying like, all right, you might be stuck in here.
most able-bodied people have trouble getting in and out of regular wetsuits, you know. Like,
trust me, I've seen it.
What are the other competitors actually? What were they using? Are they using different modified wetsuits as well, or?
I think that was the coolest thing for my mom, because my mom was there also. She was able to observe all the different other things that people were doing, and there is a lot of altering done to the wetsuits and things like that, because dressing isn't always a simple task. You guys may take it for granted, like you just put your shit on and you go.
Yeah.
Like, this needs to be a well thought out process of how we can do it as easy as possible, as quick as possible. So there was a lot of different stuff. I saw somebody almost even with like a flipper setup, because they were an amputee, so the legs weren't a factor. So they had extra zippers everywhere else, and then the bottom was almost like what a flipper would look like.
Wow. It seems like I know there's been a bit of momentum lately to make more adaptive clothing. I know Tommy Hilfiger was doing some stuff, which is amazing.
I was actually up to be part of that campaign. They had reached out to me, and I was a finalist.
Oh, wow.
To be a part of that campaign, but they had found somebody in California who was closer to the shooting date that I'm sure they didn't have to pay for a flight and things like that, and they were able to get the nod. But luckily, like I said, my mom does a lot of altering to my clothes and stuff to make it easier for me to get ready for my day and stuff. But it's becoming more widely done by the brands, which is cool, because not everyone has a family member or someone that they're close to that's able to make alterations.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like, it's such a untapped market in some ways too. You know, it's like there are so many people who could benefit from this, and I think even like with surfing, like there's got to be with wetsuits, there's got to be other clever. I mean, it must have been really inspiring for your mother to have seen all the different clever designs and new ways that you can look at the wetsuit and other devices.
She was able to take ideas from other people and be like, all right, maybe this will work, maybe this won't, but this is something that we saw. There was a lot of picture taking of, can I take a picture of your wetsuit? And let's see if this works. So, like, I don't think that companies realize how simple it could be.
Yeah.
Because all you really need to do is add zippers or things for easy in, easy out. It's not some elaborate like apparatus that needs to put on to make these things easier for people.
Absolutely. I mean, and also the neoprene rubber, particularly with surfing, it's so flexible these days and so good. Yeah. Like, it does. I imagine it wouldn't have to take much to make. Have you approached any wetsuit manufacturers or any surf brands? Like,
I've had different companies reach out to me at certain points about. I don't know if they were interested in sponsorships or anything like that. I've never really gotten that far, but once they realize like there's extra things that needed to be done, I think that scares them off a little bit, and they don't know how to market me, as opposed to Jesse, who had all these companies in place prior to his injury, so they were familiar with him, they knew what the story was, and he had already established a relationship with these people. These people are going in cold with me, so I don't know if they're